And this is Fo-Sung Elizabeth Cookye, CEO and Mistress Secretary of Goddesses Incorporated, and the ultimate anime mascot goddess, covering all things from women in the Bisoujo Senshi universe, women of the fighting video game world, and women of anime. These last couple of days I've been very busy, so I have not uploaded my videos as I promised, once a week on a Monday or Tuesday. I've been covering errands, got a new job, actually full-time, and have been getting a lot of myself together with getting a primary doctor, a dentist, and redoing my life over, which brings me to the concept of this episode. The name of this episode is Small Little Beginning. But before I begin with that, I just wanted to say that I haven't forgot about any of my previous videos and the videos to come about me talking about various new video games that are coming out. I soon will be having an episode on Marvel vs. Capcom 3, and I do have a couple of comments about the new Street Fighter Cross Tekken that should be coming out either the end of this year or spring of next year. There are numerous games that are stated to come out. Squaresoft is talking about covering some of their old RPGs again, making remakes. Good. It's about time. Hopefully I get to see a remake of Parasite Eve and a remake of Threads of Fate, and hopefully a sequel to the original Threads of Fate for PlayStation. Now with that said, on to the episode of this clip, Small Little Beginning. Now, what this is about is, some time ago, or last year, I moved from Albany, New York to California in the pursuit of my dream as an acrobatics and gymnastics teacher and a performing artist in the world of Japanese animation. However, I could have stayed in New York, but my career wasn't there and there was no market for what I do, so the only place to do this was actually here in California. And before I continue, I just want to give a quick shout out to my friend Tia Rivers in New York. I hear you. Thank you so much for watching my videos. I actually dedicate this video to you and another friend who's in Texas right now named Christian Gully. And I also want to make a shout out to Saberclaw and Winterclaw, who too is trying to move from where they're at on the East Coast to the West Coast. So, in fact, I also dedicate this to everyone who's trying to make a move in their life. See, a small little beginning is all about when you decide to just start all over again. Take yourself out of your comfort zone and move to a new part of life where you just start over from scratch. Sometimes it's just time to change the channel, start over new, try something new in your life, and just get rid of the old to bring in the new tidings. I was born and raised in New York all my life, and of course after a while I just got tired of the buildings and the businesses that were closing. After 9/11, things just really changed. The 90s were wonderful years of my life. And I say for everybody who's trying to move, wherever you're at, from west to east or east to west or midwest to north or north to south or wherever, this is how I did it. I had worked 2 jobs in Albany, New York, both doing the same kind of work, working for developmental disability patients. And when you work for the medical system, you have a choice of actually being able to work what they call a knock shift. And a knock shift is an overnight shift. Given that you work overnight, usually those are the best times to actually go and plan out silently your move from one place to another, because not only do you not have to worry about administration during the overnight, you're given specific duties, you do them, you do it to the best of your ability, your boss checks in the morning, and then you could go about your business and have the whole day to yourself to go and continue to plan your small little beginning. So that's what I did. I worked 2 jobs in Albany, working with developmental disability patients, doing what they call a knock shift. And I saved up my money, and originally I was supposed to have moved at the end of this year, but circumstances permit that when I was let go of one of my jobs, I had decided to just take my money and run. I had nothing but $5,000 to my name and I said, just screw it. At the time, I had knew somebody really close who already was at the West Coast, who I had known for a really long time before things have changed between him and I had moved to stay with him for a while until I can go and get a place of my own or branch out from there. And during this time, which I recommend for anybody who's moving east to west once more, is that during the moving process, you want to pack up your stuff at least a good 6 months in advance. I say this to say that there's nothing like moving like a thief in the night, because you don't always want everybody to know your business, and you don't want to tell everybody because you never know who knows who, and they could know someone where you're trying to move and try to screw things up for you. Always understand that some of the best movements in your personal life are ones that are discreet and quiet and personal. Always keep those things to yourself. Plan quietly, silently, economically, socially, and smart. So that's rule number 1. Rule number 2, save as much as you can. I was able to make it with $5,000 across the country, which I drove. I packed up the things that meant the most to me, my clothing and my technology. I sold all of my tech. Well, actually, no, I didn't sell all of my technology. I sold one TV and I sold a couple of stuff that I didn't need anymore. And I sold all my furniture, and I sold my bed set, and I sold things that I just never really used, which also added to my revenue. And when it was time, believe it or not, I actually paid a crackhead $40 to go and fill up the U-Haul box that I attached to the back of my car to travel across the country, and that's how I did it. Realize that when you move, everything starts all over again. And unless you had started planning to get a job where you was at before you moved, don't be afraid to start all over again. How to find a job and how to really go about getting yourself back up on your feet, which I will talk about in another episode on how to find, maintain the integrity of a job in the employment system here in the United States of America. Yes, back to what I was saying. Don't be afraid to move and start over. Take only what is necessary. Sell everything else, because you can start again. And who knows, when you move, you may just find something better. And so I just wanted to end on this note right here with a poem, because we all are trying to make transitions in our lives, and sometimes it just seems so very difficult and we can feel discouraged. So I have a little poem right here on my computer right next to me. The author is unknown, but I just want you to listen to it. And should you find any interest in it, actually find it on the web. The author is unknown, and the name of the poem is called Don't Quit. Don't quit. And here's how it goes. When things go wrong, as they sometimes will, when the road you are struggling seems uphill, when the funds are low and the debts are high, and you want to smile but really inside you just have to sigh, when care is pressing you down a bit, rest if you must, but please don't quit. Life is queer with its twists and turns, as every one of us sometimes learns, and many a failure turns about when he might have won had he just stuck it out. Don't give up, though the pace seems slow. You just may succeed had you given it another blow. Often the goal is nearer than it seems to a feint for the faltering man, when he might have captured the victor's cup, just had he said, I won't give up. And he learned too late when the night slipped down how close he was to the golden crown. Success is failure turned inside out, the silver tint of the clouds of doubt. And you never can tell how close you are, and may be nearer when it seems so far. So stick to the fight when your heart is hit. When things seem worse, please don't quit. Say Cookie!